Press the button and away we go. Well, folks, it's Airfix and Chill on a Monday night. We weren't here last week because I had food poisoning and I was rather poorly. There is something to be said when you're sitting on the toilet with a bucket between your legs, not knowing which way it's going to come next. I can assure you, it's the anticipation is not there. I was very, very poorly indeed. In so much, I've lost nearly 11 pounds in weight. I was that ill, and I've just started eating again now. So, but yeah, it was a bit of a bad one for me last week. So I do apologise that we went in and we weren't doing it. So, but we're back again. We've got 41 in the chat. We've got quite a few people in the chat already. So we've got the likes of Celtic West, G&A Scale Model Apprentice, Hobby Time. Nice to see you, my friend. Dan Usher. He's a class act himself. We've got Hobby Barn. How are you, Terry? Hope you're well. Gary's in the chat. We've got Kevin in the chat. We've got so many people. Morrowind. If I've missed you, I do apologise. But yeah, we've got so many in the chat. And we've also got our participants in the actual Airfix and Chill. So we'll start off with Sprue. Dave, how are you, my friend? Looks like you're building that Virgin
White Knight, yes, I've got the old White Knight going.
Fair enough. Looking good. Looking good. It's going together well then, because this was it. It's not a Revel kit, is it? It's is it Revel kit or is it an A model kit?
No, it isn't Revel. No. Let me just get the instructions.
That's why I'll come back to you. So I'll come back in a minute.
Yeah.
Borex, what have you got on your bench here?
I think it's Revel.
I thought it was Revel. Yeah.
I got my Phantom on the bench.
He's got his Phantom on the bench. Look at that. Wow. Ukrainian flag as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the base.
I like the base too. It's very nice base, that. And what's it flashing for? I like the way you've got the orange at the back there. Bit of the old afterburner, like, you know, just firing up there. And that was all hand painted, yes?
Yeah.
And those aren't decals, are they? You've actually done that with masking tape, haven't you? That stenciling.
Yep.
Oh wow.
It's all masking tape and hand painting.
All done with the hairy stick. Isn't that sublime?
No airbrush needed for it.
No airbrush needed. That is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
And
it's fantastic. So the base is basically a filter frame, I guess, is it?
Yeah.
Mm.
A photo frame and a stamp postcard I got with my decals from Kiev.
Oh, fair play. Always balancing it on there. Fair play, fair play. Really nice effort, that, my friend. People in the chat are saying nice kit with the lights on. And there you go. Oh, so look at that one. ToBoldlyGo saying, oh, where is it? Landing lights and burners. Nice. So looking pretty good there, my friend. Looking pretty good.
Yep.
Sure. What's that there? It's not the Mr. Craft, is it?
Well, this is not Mr. Craft, but it's even crappier, I think. But next on the bench will be...
M2.
No.
I will start this one also in Ukrainian color, so
fair play.
And
fair
that
play.
is Mr. Craft, so that will be a challenge.
It will be a challenge.
A challenge.
Right, moving on to John. Oh, that's looking pretty smart. Just got the pieces out. What's that you've got there?
You know, this is the Academy 148 A10C. This came out last year.
Yeah.
And I just realized I I'm almost done with episode 3, and then realized that I've only got 3 pages of instruction left. So and then of course the decals and painting. But yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along really nice. I've got the wings done. I just need to join them to the fuselage, and then just keep moving on. So yeah, I just thought I'd tinker with this while we were on tonight.
Ah, fair play, fair play.
Yeah,
I'm going to come to you quite a bit in a bit, because we're going to be talking about the IPMS situation, but we'll come back to you on that one.
all right, sounds good.
We'll have a good one. So Sully. Now that's a tank.
That's a tank and a half.
That is a tank and a half.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the what is the purpose of this tank then, Sully? Is he talking or has he gone quiet?
Speechless.
He's speechless.
He's got a bird's nest in his mouth.
Ah, that's all it is it? We'll come back to you then, Sully, when we get some voice. Can you hear us as well, Sully, or not?
Yeah.
I like
If we
the
got
barbecue.
him, ask him if he can hear us.
I'm not gonna. I know he's probably talking but can't hear us. He's probably talking but we can't hear him. I should say.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, mate.
Yeah.
I can hear you
that's
now.
all right.
Hey,
Yeah,
is that a barbecue on the back?
It is.
It's pretty smart, that.
Yeah. So originally it's a 255, but the 255 is born as shit. So I always keep good spares from a kit, especially like armour stuff and that. And eventually try and find some way of just slapping something together a bit later on with it for just a bit of fun. But there's a few odd scratch builds, so like the barbecue on the back, which does have, I've made a grill for. There, I've made some side skirts for it. But pretty much everything else is kits. Oh, I scratch built some barbed wire for the sides. Just there.
Fantastic.
So this is everything else is just sort of bits and bobs from other kits. It's got working interior lights. The front spotlight and the 2 sort of like driving lights in the front will work as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. I've got a light that flickers, which I'm hoping to attempt to put in the barbecue somehow. I'm not quite. It's one of those little things from a candle.
Yeah.
He's got a flickering firebox.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully, I'm not sure if
awesome.
it's. It might not end up in there, so I'm not making promises on that one.
Well, I think now you said it, you've got to do it.
Yeah, it's just hiding the wires back into the vehicle because I forgot I had these, and it was. I thought, oh. So
Yeah.
I might be able to. There's a few little add-ons that need to go on. I've got a little radio that's going to sit in the back, and I made a TV aerial for just the sake of it.
Brilliant.
So I'm going to break it up in a bit and hopefully start some painting tonight.
Oh, it's not painted. I'm taking the piss.
Yeah,
I'll say I do like is it those water bottles just on the side there? They look pretty smart.
Oh, those jerry
No,
cans.
the back, the other side, the other corner. Keep going, the other side. Keep going. Them 2 there. Aren't they water bottles?
No, well, I think they're actually fuel tanks. I think.
Oh, fuel tanks.
Small
are they?
slipper tanks. Yeah. I think I don't know. I'm not a tank person.
I thought water had that. You know that because
No.
I thought if it's diesel, it would be square, wouldn't it? But they're round.
No, so what they did was it was jerry cans. What they did it on, and what they did is that the cross in the middle they painted that white.
It's more of there'd be a square in the middle, though, wouldn't there? If it was a diesel, wouldn't it? I thought if it was diesel with a square or fuel with a square, it'd be a cross, but it'd be well. You've got the circle on that one there. If it's a fuel one, it would be a square one. I thought circle was water and square was fuel, but I may be wrong.
Yeah.
Anyone in the chat not come,
No,
know any more than I do. So, yeah. Anyway, brilliant, mate. Looking quick and fab. Should be doing some paint job on that this weekend, I guess.
Well, hopefully I'll start tonight. Actually, hopefully I can move the camera about and do it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Brilliant.
That's all I can say.
Alex,
Oh,
you've got some German aircraft there, matey.
yeah, a couple of 190Ds. These are these that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago. This is
They're the 148, aren't they?
They're 148. This is a Tamiya, so started painting it. And this is the Dragon, she's the ex-Trimaster. So got onto tackling with this one.
Did it go well together, or was it a bit? Oh, that's nice underneath.
Very stripy.
Yeah, Defense of the Reich. Stop it being shot down by its own anti-aircraft.
Yeah.
It doesn't go together too badly. It's just where there are gaps. There are fairly big gaps that need quite a bit of filler. But other than that, I mean, the decals still work, which is good. So yeah, we've got to finish.
That isn't decked in underneath, though, is it? That can't be decked in underneath, can it?
The white stripes actually are.
Wow.
Yeah, these are decals. So I just need to trim. You can see actually.
Yeah,
you need to
trim that back. Yeah.
But some of them aren't quite long enough.
So
some of these edges I just need to touch up a little bit. But overall, it's been all right. It's,
nicely done.
Coming along.
Nicely done.
Coming along.
Hey, which one's the better one, the Tamiya or the Dragon?
The Tamiya.
Yeah.
But I mean, they both. The Tamiya is easier, definitely. Easier to put together. You don't get any of the issues. But the old Trimaster kit is actually not a bad kit. It looks the part. So
it does look the part. To be fair, I'll be happy with a finish like that. I tell you.
Yeah, so it's a while since I've been doing Luftwaffe stuff, so I thought I'd get back into a couple.
Yeah, fair play, fair play. Then finally over to James. ToBoldlyGo. Oh, what have you got on your workbench today, then, mate? Apart from a Tesco bag, a plate, and some brown tape.
Not a lot, because
get the milk jug.
I'll stop because the fiend from hell who shuts in the kitchen finishes everything that's on the table, so I don't put anything that's safe.
And the dog, what does he do?
I don't know what kits he builds. He doesn't like Airfix.
He doesn't like Airfix. Not many animals do. I'll have to put my picture up at some point of the cat who puts his nose in my Tamiya yellow paint. There's got like a white stripe on his nose now. Fill up sometime. Anyways, right. Nothing from me on the workbench because I've been quite poorly, but I have finished the Concorde, which I don't know whether did I show you that last time. The Concorde is now done. It was a 2-day job, 3-day job. I've got the video to come out, and this is the first time I've done a video with commentary on it. So instead of doing a time lapse, I've actually done so it may be a bit shit. It is all right. It needs retooling, this Concorde from FX. But if you're wanting to build a Concorde, this is the better one out of the two. If you've got the Revel one and you've got the Airfix one, this is the better one out of two. There's no cockpit detail, but so what I did was I just sprayed up the glass there as black. You can't see in it anyway. Decals went down okay. There's a couple of issues on one side, but other than that, I didn't. There's no filler on this. It's just basically glued together and then sprayed with Tamiya white. And then the decals fitted and then put together. So it was a bit of a rushy job. But I want to get it done because the new challenge comes out this week. We're getting the woven patches, I think, Monday of next week. They'll be here by Monday next week for the Concorde challenge. So if you want to build a Concorde, I will then send you one of these woven patches. If you haven't done a challenge of mine before, this was the E Lightning, which I gave to a few. I did. Got another 10 coming of these because I've run out. So if you've emailed me, hold fire, you will get one. I've got another 20 being sent. I've got another 50 of these to come, and I've got 50 of the Concord ones coming as a first print. So if you want to get on, start of next week, when I do the video, launch a video, there will be Airfix is the patch for the Concord will be out then, and then all you got to do is send a picture of the box art before you start, and then a picture of it finished, and I will send you a patch, and hopefully by then, by the time I'm finished, you will also get my next zine. I do a zine a year. My second zine should be finished by then, so hopefully we'll be all done and dusted. Right, so few in the chat. 92, I think I have the 1977 box of that Concorde. If you did, I've got this one here. I think Alex has got his as well. This was the 1996 version of it. So if you've got a Hella kit, which is 144, 1 to 144, this also the same one, same kit. So you can do any Concorde you want. You can do a Revel Concorde. That's the one, Alex. Yeah, you got the same as me. Decals are a bit funny on them. So what other size? You can do the 172 Hella version if you want, or if you got it in an Airfix, you can do it in an Airfix version as well. But any one you want to do, as long as you build a Concorde, not this one, because I found this in my stash. This is a very, very small Concorde. I was talking about I like the little mini kits that Airfix used to produce, but this is it. This is the Concorde there from Revel. It's so simple. Just there's 2 pieces. That's it. That is it.
Surely there.
So, but you can't do one of them. But I know Sprue's done one as well, which is on the screen there. You can see he's done it. It's a little bit smaller than a 144. That's come up well, mate. Just send me your address. I'll send you. When I get the patches, I will send them out.
Do we still get a patch if we do a French version, Moss?
Yeah, if any version of Concorde, even if you do.
And this is the one that went into the hotel. Shut up.
even if you do the Concorde, the original vintage classic Concorde, that still counts. It has to be a Concorde, not Lego. Not Lego. But if you want to do it, go. I think there's a 1 to 100 scale out there. There's a 1 to 200 scale. As long as you do the as long as you build it, paint it, decal it, that's worthy of a woven patch, definitely. So if you have got one in your stash, you want to go and build it, let me know, and we will send you out a woven patch.
What about a paper one, Moz?
A paper one? No, I don't think that's allowed because that's not really a challenge.
Oh, that's bloody no good.
That's more of a TSR2, that one.
Well, it's an A4 sheet of paper.
Yeah, A4 sheet of paper. But yeah, anything if you want to do the Pepsi Concorde, which never flew, you can do that one as well. So any Concorde, you will get a woven patch. I do have it somewhere. I'll show you later on in the chat. I'll show you what the woven patches will look like, and hopefully I'll get the zine finished then as well. So I've got the zines here. This is the old zine. If you've not had a zine off me, this is my old one. It's just it's just stuff that I kind of copy and paste stuff together and do an article or two. If you want one of these, send me an email and with your address, and I'll send you one out. But zine number 2 is due out in the next couple of weeks. So there you go. That's my roundup. But anyway, so let's go back to all together now. So interestingly, there's been a huge kickoff in America, and luckily we do have the heavy metal modeler in the house who is American, who might be able to go more into detail about it. But basically, there is a society, and I think a lot of us are members of that society, called the IPMS. And it's the International Plastic Modelers Society, I think it is. I'm not too into much of it. I get a magazine once a month or once every 2 months. I also get free entry into Model World once a year in Telford. But there's chapters all over the world. And the American guy the president put out an article in their journal called the IPMS USA Journal. And so on the screen now you can see if you have a copy and you want to send it to me, I like to have a little read of it, send it on if you like. And then this is the guy here, David Lockhart, and there's a little picture of him there, and he's basically talking about being the president of the IPMS chapter, which is the USA. And the question is, why should I join IPMS USA? And he goes on to a little bit about about the national shows and everything. But there's a little piece in this article that's kind of really backfired in almost ripping him a new asshole. And it's this bit here. And he was saying that there are some modelers who have never belonged to a chapter, and a chapter is part of the society. So whether you're a USA chapter, whether you're your local model club, which is affiliated to IPMS, there are people who have never belonged to one and will never come to a meeting, yet they are there at shows more than willing to pick up a trophy and an award for their work. In my personal opinion, and this does not reflect the opinion of IPMS USA, these folks are freeloaders. While they may be excellent modelers, they are only in it for the awards and not willing to participate in the entire process. They basically said behind every IPMS USA event will be a chapter meeting, a local show, or a national show. There are many folks who volunteer their time and effort and pay for these events to happen, and many IPMS USA members don't realize the truly beneficial advantage of having liability insurance to cover these events. Most chapters could not afford this, and many locations would not allow an event without it. So basically, he's saying that there are people in the scale modeling world who just go to events where there's a chance to pick up an award for their creation. Is he right to call them freeloaders? Now, I don't really have an opinion because I'm a member of IPMS, the UK, and that's purely so I can get to Telford once a year. And I do like to have a little read of their magazine that I get every quarter, or whatever it is. I don't put any of my models in to win awards because I don't expect to ever win an award. But does that make me a freeloader? Because I'm only a member. I don't go to a scale model club that's affiliated to an IPMS chapter or anything like that. I'm a member because I want to go to Telford for free and get my magazines once a year. But I'd be interested to find out. We've got an American guy here who lives in America, so he might know a bit more than I do. But anyone in the chat want to have a kick in as well? If you've got any questions or any comments on this, if you're American and you've seen all this kick off, let us know in the chat what your thoughts are. So we'll go back out of this because we don't want to see this because he does respond, but we'll go back into that in a minute on the other side. But anyone here want to take the floor on this one? What about you, John Alec? You're an American guy. What's your thoughts on all this?
It's interesting. It's I think that's a bit alienating because not everybody has quick access to a local chapter. Okay. Sometimes local chapters are so I happen to have one, but it meets 30 miles from here. Fortunately, we have Zoom and stuff, but that's only because I live in the greater DC area. So here in Maryland, I'm just giving you an example. So here in Maryland, I think there's a Baltimore chapter. I think there's a Northern Virginia chapter.
Yeah.
There's the Montgomery County chapter, which I belong to. But I'm in an area that doesn't have its own chapter, so not everyone has access to a chapter. The other thing is I have asked IPMS directly on more than one occasion, can you please let me know what is the benefit of joining IPMS?
Yeah.
And on both occasions, I have received no reply. So I interpret that as there is no benefit.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's kind of the only thing that I have. Maybe they're insulted by the. I don't know. I don't want to project, but it's just like, is there a magazine? Is there something that I'm joining? I'm joining a club, a club higher than my local chapter, right? So we get involved with our local chapters, but if I'm going to join the umbrella IPMS, I think it's a fair question. What are the advantages? So maybe they're just thinking, well, gosh, it's so obvious, but I don't know what it is. And so my take is that I absolutely do not think that people are freeloaders simply because they don't belong to an IPMS chapter. They're outstanding modelers. They travel to an IPMS meeting. They pay for their entry. They pay one way or the other. They're paying for their space to display. So no, I don't think that they're freeloading at all. Yeah.
No.
That's just my opinion. Just my opinion.
Alex, who's going to speak then?
I was just going to say, I think John Alec is an extremely polite and well-mannered individual. I think the guy's an asshole for saying this. I mean, the reason why join the IPMS is a great question, John. And for this guy to have an article, on joining and then alienate members, it's entirely why people don't like some of the, let's call it, atmosphere of the IPMS. I've been an IPMS member. So when I started, first joined a model club, they weren't affiliated with the IPMS for exactly some of this reason. I wasn't aware of any of this. Super bunch of guys, much like all of you, love of the hobby, really social, used to get together once a week, and it was more of a chin wag where we brought models, tinkered around a little bit, but mainly we chatted to each other. Yeah. And, I learned more from those guys than I had in 20 years of tinkering around by myself. I then moved down to the south and wanted to join a model club because I really enjoyed those 3 years and joined the local IPMS. Completely different atmosphere. And very, I would say, it kind of draws the sorts of people that like clubs and societies. I can imagine quite a lot of them were Freemasons and like dressing up as grand wizards and stuff. Mass generalization, of course. And of course, there are people in the IPMS who are fantastic and, great modelers, great people. But it does seem to attract this group that seems somehow like they own the hobby. And they don't. It's for everybody. Anybody can. There's so much information now available on YouTube, podcasts, all for free. And I think they feel like they're losing the hold of it. I get that, events and things cost a lot of money. But if you want your membership, you pay to become a member of the IPMS. Like you say, the reasons I've joined the IPMS in prior years after I first joined and then got up was to go to Telford because it's cheap. It's cost effective. Yeah. But not to go to chapter meetings. Again, if I needed to go to an IPMS meeting myself, and I'm in the UK, which is a tiny country, I have to travel for over an hour to get to a club. So that's 2 hours out of an evening to spend a couple of hours. I could spend 4 hours at home, live streaming to people like yourselves, or just modeling myself or whatever. So where is the value? If you're saying that people can't come to a show that they, again, pay to enter, so you've paid for your IPMS membership, you pay to enter the show, if you want to exclude it to people who only go to club meetings and things, then make that part of the competition rules. Only, if you've got enough stamps in your club membership little book, then you can enter. But otherwise, if you've got rules of competition, you must be an IPMS member and you must come to the show. You can't complain. That's not freeloading. That's abiding by the conditions you've set. So I think the guy is speaking. I think he's speaking his mind. I think the later apology, is just.
I'll bring that up in a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, desperately, running back. I think it really reflects his original feelings. That I think people like that do think that people that just come and, for whatever reason, and their reasons of their own, that they don't go to club meetings, but they paid their dues. They're full-fledged members. They go to a show, which you may only be able to get one show a year. Who knows what your circumstances are. And you may have worked for a year on a model that you're really proud of. You want to enter that into competition. How does that make you a freeloader? I just don't get the guy's view at all. I think it's exactly the wrong sort of thing and not an opinion that I would welcome in modeling. Modeling is for everybody. Make it inclusive.
Yeah. I think... just going through some of the comments here, there was a really interesting one. If I can go back, where is it to? Somebody says something about that it's been declining for years, the IPMS. And I don't think that's anything to do with competitions. I just think people are being more careful with their money, and there needs to be more than a free ticket to Telford for somebody to want to join. Because for me, Telford is a 4-hour journey, 3.5 hour journey to get to. 92 said, as I understand it, IPMS USA has had to deal with severe decline in membership, which is a shame. But if there isn't a chapter near you, how is that freeloaded? I think that's the argument. Is what is a freeloader? The guys who have come to that modeling thing, to the show where they're going to have a competition, they would have had to pay to have entered, surely, or enter the fee to get into the model show to be able to show off their models. So they actually are paying the money, aren't they?
Yeah.
I
Pay for the hotel,
Yeah, that's it. There's Jeff 72 might be for some. I am an IPMS member, but feel shows are for members and non-members alike. Her hobby would die otherwise. Distance always plays a part, I guess, especially in the Midwest. This true. We do not have a local chapter. We are learning, building, creating our layout from YouTube communities, which is quite interesting. Dan Usher, I'm not a member, lynch me later, but I don't build to win trophies or enter competitions. I build for myself. Yeah, and there are those who build for themselves, but also want to do a good enough job to be looked upon, and get their little certificate, I guess, at the end of it, sort of thing. Takes all sorts, Dan, not a trophy hunter myself, but enjoy meeting up with other members of the chapter. I'm assuming that there's, if you look around, model clubs are either affiliated to IPMS or they're not. Is that correct? I think the one I go to isn't affiliated to no one. It's 4 guys that meet up, chat shit, drink tea, and then go home again. You know what I mean? It's very little modeling goes on in our little model club, but I would like to change that. But there's a certain member of that model club who just wants to meet up, the 4 of us or the 5 of us. He doesn't want to get other people in. He's very narrow-minded, unfortunately. So that model club will die because they're all over 70, most of them, apart from
Blinkered.
Yeah, he's very blinkered. I want more people to come in and actually join and work at the hobby, learn to do modeling. But there's one guy who was adamant that he didn't want to get anybody else to come and join the club. So, that's why I was looking at trying to set up my own. But it's very difficult to find a venue. And and venues are getting expensive as well. So, Mike C, photography, it's a hobby. You should not feel pressured into joining IPMS or any other organization or club. And to call others freeloaders, this is a quick way of isolating yourself from the community. Celtic West, my mate, if you enter a competition and judge you have built the best model on the day, good on you. It's not like there are big cash prizes. You may get a certificate or a small reward. Yeah, you may get a set of clippers or something, like, you know. There you go. Dan Robertson says, same here, Dan. I'm just a modeler who now and then sticks parts in the right place. Like many things, we've grown up with life changes and youngsters do their own thing. Some club members become too enclosed and put outsiders join in. But yeah, there's quite a lot here. A lot of comments regarding it. One more here. Even on a slightly different tax modulations outside of modeling serves no purpose to a subscription payout or customers, as this seems to be exactly the same. So there is money involved. Don't get me wrong. What was it to join IPMS now? Is it £30 a year, or is it a bit less?
It's about 30.
Bloody
quid, I
hell.
think.
Is it 30 quid a year?
I think someone said to me the other day 30 quid.
But how much is it to get into Telford? £30, isn't it?
Probably about the same, yeah.
And you get to go Telford for free. You show your little magic membership card, and away you go, innit?
I think Moss, the Flying Dutchman, put a good comment in.
Did he? Let me go back then. Flying Dutchman.
836.
836. 836. Go back here. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's what I was hovering over that one. Yeah. I think IPMS as an organization is also something that worked well before internet came to be. Info was shared via messages and magazines. So meetings and magazines. Now there is all sorts of other platforms, i.e. YouTube and the likes of us. You know, once a week we turn up and we chat about modeling. And I suppose when it comes to us, we're quite here and now. So if we hear of a release that's happening this week, we can discuss it now. Whereas if it's in a magazine, you're looking at 2 or 3 weeks or even a month, you know, until they write something up about it, you know. Tigers has said, let's start the IBNS, the International Birds Nest.
I'm in.
We should, yeah, that's going to be my next patch. Build a model, but put a bird's nest in it.
As long as I can be an honorary member, that's fine.
No, you'd have to pay the full whack, mate. You would.
No, it could be you can have lifetime membership.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
Just send us a Mars bar and you could be a member of the IBNS. That's brilliant, that is actually a good idea. We could call it now, you know, the Bird's Nest Society. The International Bird's Nest Society, yeah. What else is there? You know, there's only that one society, isn't there? The International Plastic Modeler Society. There isn't another version, is there? You know, there's IPMS UK, USA, Netherlands, Australia. There's a Brazil one. There's quite a few. But what you know, because I thought Scale Model World was kind of dying. You know, when I went to Scale Model World 2 years ago, was it? Or was it last year? Revell wasn't there, were they? You know, they didn't bring out a stand. There wasn't the big guns there, was there, as there were in previous years? Am I right in saying that?
Couldn't tell you.
Never been.
There.
I haven't been for years.
Of all the shows I have attended, there is no entrance fee to competitions. Yeah, we're not talking. There must be an entrance fee to go to the show, though. And the competition is bolted on, isn't it, Celtic? I thought that was how it worked. Oh, yeah. The Flying Dutchman says, and these newer social platforms are mostly without rivet counters.
Oh, you've never been to Reddit then?
He's never been to Reddit. Cooper 87, the way I see it, they are not freeloaders, but potential members that they failed to entice into joining. I think it says something if the events can't even drum up membership.
I think that's spot on.
That is spot on. Cooper 87. You can come on next week and
Spot
discuss
on.
it. Yeah.
It goes back to John Alex's original question.
Yeah.
What value are you providing? Why should I join this? What do you offer? And if they can't answer that question, what's the reason for it?
It's like, you spend your 30 quid a year and you join the Airfix club, don't you? So for that £30, you get a kit with it. You get 3 magazines on the calendar a year. You get your tag. You get your 10% off all other kits, and you also get the chance to buy stuff that isn't available to people who aren't members of the Airfix club. What can IPMS do to bring people back in, I suppose, is the question. Because, as I said, he does come back with I thought it was a decent statement where he says, to all, it seems that I have unintentionally stirred up quite a hornet's nest. Not a bird's nest, a hornet's nest. Many responses to my recent
possibly
column.
a shitstorm, but hey ho.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a shitstorm, isn't it? Yeah.
Bullshit.
Why not? Yeah, why not? IPMS USA have been quite negative as to its content. For me, this is unforeseen and humbling. Whilst my intentions were good, my messaging obviously was not. Sincere apologies to those who may have been offended. They're not offended, mate. They're not offended.
Just think you're a tosser.
They think you're a twat. Yeah. My bottom line message was to welcome those not in IPMS USA to become a member. It's a great organisation that welcomes all modelers. In no way did I intend to slight our membership. My goal has been and will be to grow the organisation and make it better for all members. Again, he's saying he's not meant to slight our membership, but he did, because he called members who don't go to chapters or go to local meetings, but go to the main events for competitions as a freeloader. That's the problem. For those who are not in IPMS USA members, whilst we would love to have you join, you are always welcome to our meetings and shows. Being around other modelers is one of the best parts of our hobby. You don't need to be a member to be around other modelers, do you? Anyway, my comments about those who cannot attend meetings due to location or personal circumstances was not meant as a slight. Accept my apologies. Your membership demonstrates your support of our organisation and is greatly appreciated. This experience has shown me that the impact that social media can have not only on an individual but an organisation. I'll admit that I don't use very many social media platforms. Words and content spread fast, and much more careful on what I will say and how I express my opinion of IPMS USA and the modelling community. For those who have indicated you are leaving IPMS USA due to my column, please don't. Presidents and boards come and go, but IPMS will be here for many years to come. I am willing and ready to go through the gauntlet to make amends. If any of you will be at this year's Nationals in San Marcos, please come to me and introduce yourself. Your opinions, all of them, will be greatly appreciative. Have a great week. Happy modeling. Dive. And there's his. If you want to email him and express your dislike, or, as I said, I've not seen many who agree with his comments either. That said, oh yeah, there are freeloaders, and but like you said, IPMS membership is £28 a year, and a family of 3 people is £40 a year. So I won't fire off 30 quid to be a member, and that gives me a couple of the magazines a year and a chance to go to IPMS Telford free of charge. Can anybody let me know how much it costs to go to Telford this year? Because that may, sort of, marry up a little bit. Just looking through. If it's a financial problem, then charge a fee. Otherwise, it's a case of value for money. For membership, the US is incredibly contest heavy contest heavy compared to the UK. So most want competitions, no comp, no show. Interesting. Is that right?
I don't know, because there are shows that there are competitions at every IPMS show that I've been to.
Yeah.
I mean, they might not be as competitive as the US competitions, maybe.
Yeah, I assume so. As I said,
I mean, at least the guy, he gets a point for, at least coming out and owning his mistake.
Yeah, he does, yeah.
But I think
Or
there was
somebody
a couple
told him to.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, but it's better than Anheuser-Busch with Bud Light, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, I think one of his comments in there was quite telling, and he said, "What can they do to attract more membership?"
Yeah.
He said, "I don't use many social media platforms," and I think that kind of shows that the image of, even before the internet came in, or as the internet was starting to kind of let's put it in a questionable place, it was seen as a rather old fuddy-duddy thing. And I think the fact that he doesn't use social media platforms perhaps gives that impression that it's not very modern, or at least not very modern thinking, and that is probably putting off a lot more younger modelers than the fact that, okay, I mean, he did say some stupid stuff, but I think that kind of reflects the impression that people have of it. So I think it's that impression, the view. And I'm sure there are some IPMS folks that are great and very welcoming, have great members and stuff, but there is an impression that a lot of them aren't, and that you will be criticised, and that newcomers might be, looked down upon and whatever. So I think they need to do a lot to get over that. And I think getting into more modern platforms and getting more with what's the kind of, if you like, the current pulse of modelers might do them a bit of a favour.
Yeah.
They haven't released the prices for this year.
What was last year then? Because I don't know, because I get it for free.
21.60 for the Saturday, 16.60 for the Sunday. It was last year.
Really? So it'd be better off if I just turned up and paid £16 on the day then?
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do when I go. I'm going on the Saturday, I think, this year.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we had the discussion about, somebody put a thing up in one of the, I think Jonathan Mock in the Interested Modelling Company talked about the future of model shows, and that a lot of shops don't go to model shows anymore.
It's because they charge them too much.
Because they charge them too much.
I think that's the reasoning for a lot of companies, because they're just not making the money, really, I don't think.
No. And it's a lot of money to have a stall at Telford. But is it, there's no benefit on the day. You just hope that people come back to you after the fact and buy off you online, I think. Yeah. But if a store's £1,000, say at IPMS, you're better off spending that £1,000 and sponsoring model shows around the, say for instance a competition, and say this is going to be, or even give your money to a YouTuber who can then say, "Oh, I've been to this model shop this week and I bought this. If you want to go have a chat, maybe that's where they should be spending their money, is on YouTubers to promote their shops. Hint, hint, wink, wink. You know what I mean?
On free,
and then you can blame the YouTuber when you get a bad model or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's a lot of money to host a show. I get that. And the membership fee probably goes towards the running of the show. But if you're spending £30 to be a member, you're still spending more than what it costs to be in the model show, to go to the model show, and that gives you a ticket to become what's it called? If you want to be in the competition, an entrance to the competition. But Freeloader was such a strong, ill-worded thing to use. He would have been better off to challenge those people who are just in it for the competitions.
Well, the one that I went to a couple of years ago, which is the first one I've displayed at. They're competitions. I think it is a charged entry for the show anyway. I didn't have to pay as an exhibitor, but if you wanted to go into the competition, it was £2 per model to enter, which I think's fair, personally.
Yeah.
Probably maybe a little bit more because of that money went to go into charity rather than anything else. But I think
Is that the policeman's one that you went to? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
What was the prize? Was it like a get out of jail free card or something?
No, well, look, I've actually got
Free speeding.
Yeah, free.
Yeah.
You can have two. Yeah. A speed awareness course cards. If you get caught speeding, you can just weigh up this card and go there. I'll just do a speed awareness course instead.
So I got that. I won second place, sorry. And one little glass trophy.
For £2, you got a nice bit of glass there.
Well,
Didn't you?
exactly. That's it. I mean, I'd give them more, to be honest with you, if they asked for it. You know, but I mean, I just did it. I actually got pressured in by my mate, who is part of the club, and the wife to enter something. But I mean, I was going to anyway, just for a bit of fun. I couldn't give a shit, really. I just wanted to see what would happen. But you know, I mean, if they're letting people do that, just then it's their own fault. Really.
I think when you got people saying that they're going to cancel their IPMS message, the IPMS membership because of a comment by a president, I think that was a step too far because it just shows you that they don't really care about the IPMS. At the end of the day, see, on the flip side, yes, he used the wrong term, but I can't criticize or mock his passion on trying to get more people to join the IPMS, if you see what I mean. He could have done it better.
I think you also get a bit.
He could have worded it better.
Yeah.
I think with some of the IPMSs though, I think you can get a bit of elitism.
Yeah.
From some of them, and they're usually the shit ones as well. But no, I think with some clubs you get like the rivet counters basically, or just the arseholes that are not. What you've done is not right, and it's an abomination.
I think we should do our own model show here. We should get people to send in their models every week, and we decide who's sending the best model, and then we can send them a model kit out and say, "Well done, this week's winner is this one," and we could all judge them. Because to be fair, I think John Parker's coming tonight. Bless him. I want to get him on this show. So when he's ready, but he said that Moz, you may not be aware, but you are running a model club show. So I suppose this is a model club, really, isn't it? We all turn up with our models. I find it really difficult. I wish that I may even pay for the bigger package so that you guys can edit this as well and put things up, because it is really hard to model when you're trying to read all the comments. I read every comment that comes in and pick out ones, favorite them, and put them up on the screen. Because I do miss just being on the chat modeling, if you know what I mean, and then adding me 10 pence worth when I'm in it, like, you know. Maybe I could do that sometime. But anyway, yeah, it's but yeah, you know, we come into this room every week and chat and share our hobby. So yeah, IPMS have got to do a lot more. And just because, as I said, if you really think about IPMS, we don't have chapters, but we have model clubs that are affiliated to them, haven't we?
I think that's what they mean by chapters. To be honest with you,
Is it? Yeah.
I think personally, I think that was more of a terminology thing, really, than anything.
Apparently, here, Mods, you're slightly misquoting him. He's talking about non-IPMS members going to IPMS shows, not financially contributing, or hoping that's what he's talking about. Non-fee paying IPMS members. I get that.
Yeah, I think that's what it means.
But if you're not an IPMS member, you still have to pay to go to the show, the entrance fee.
And I think they should charge them like the blue lamp. They charge you to enter.
Yeah.
As well, which I'm sure the Shropshire Model Show, when that was going, they did used to do a competition, and that I think they charged for that as well. I believe or not. I won't comment for definite because I'm not 100% sure. But if you're going to let them just enter, then kind of that's your own fault by letting that happen, really.
Yeah.
Just charge a couple of quid, and then that goes back into the little pot of IPMS or whatever they do with the monies. Whether it goes to charity.
But I wouldn't still say that they were freeloading, because they would still have had to have paid to go to that show. No, I've never been to a scale model show that's free. There's always an entrance at the door, whether it's £5, £10. Now, who's more profitable for the IPMS? The actual members or the non-members? That's what I was trying to get at. I pay £30 a year to be an IPMS member to get a free ticket to Telford, and that's for both days. But that's 30 quid. But if you're not an IPMS member, you'll be paying 30. If it's 30, is it 21? And so you'll be paying £37 for those 2 days to get in. So they're paying more money to enter the show anyway.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm not sure you're really slightly misquoting him, Moss, because he might have been talking about non-IPMS members, but it's not clear. And why would IPMS members then say that they're going to cancel their membership? If that was the case. So again, his wording was extremely poor.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get. I'm not too sure what the crack is. Yeah, I got it from that impression that he was aiming at people who were IPMS members, but only become members to enter competitions.
Yeah,
not just to not go to chapters and everything. So
but it's not like joining the IPMS comes with a list of you must attend at least 3 chapter meetings a year to become a viable member. There's none of that. So it's their rules. You can't then say somebody who abides by the rules. I paid my membership fee. I'm going to a club once a year to their show and entering a model competition. Those are the rules you stipulated. You can't call me a freeloader for obeying your rules.
But
But as Sully said, it's a very easy thing to fix. You just charge a small fee for entering the competition. It doesn't matter. And it's almost like they're afraid of people coming in. It's just like, why? Surely everyone's medals should stand on their own merits. But like
John says, particularly in the US, it's a bigger country, and the club probably covers like an entire state or something. I mean, I don't know, obviously, but just maybe blowing things out of proportion. Like, it probably covers an entire state, so not everybody's going to be able to turn up. But as we're over here, because like Mike said, we're a smaller country. There are more clubs dotted around and are slightly more accessible. But then, like we've said, we've got this, like someone said earlier, this is our little model club.
Yeah.
So you've got the internet now, so you don't actually have to bother going anywhere. I mean, there's plenty. I mean, there's the Grumpy Scale Modelers Club that are online. I'm trying to think of 2 others that I've forgot the name off the top of my head. But do you know what I mean? There's loads of them. So you don't have to go anywhere.
Celtic Western put in what you get for the membership. IPMS offer tech advice, decal bank, kit instructions library, 4 magazines per year, free entry to Telford, and his club meets twice a month, and all would be welcome. So,
is there a secret handshake?
Is there a secret handshake? Yeah. But so, if you join that model club, then Celtic, that means you don't have to pay anything more to IPMS. Do you have to pay their £30 a year as well on top of that model club?
Oh yeah, if you join a local club, you still have,
even though it's affiliated with IPMS.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
because they've got to. I mean, which is fair, right? Because they've got to pay for the club or venue wherever they meet. So it's usually like, I don't know. Last time I went, it was about £5 something. Yeah. Club dues. I can't remember whether that was a month or it was something like that. It wasn't a lot, but that is on top of your £30 a year for being in the IPMS.
Yeah.
And I get the point here, and I'm sure Celtic, your club, might be one of the good ones. I'm sure it is. But a lot of what you're putting there, tech advice, it's like you can get a lot of free tech advice from a lot of people now. Again, places like all of our YouTube channels, a lot of other YouTube channels out there, Reddit, Twitter, whatever. The Decal Bank, that's one thing. Kit Instruction Library, you've got Scale Mates, 4 magazines a year. I mean, I got the magazines, unless they've massively improved. It's like, it takes up a half an hour read, but that's it. So
they're a little bit boring.
I think it comes back to John Alex's point, though. Where's the value? What are they actually offering? Because again, you're going to a club twice a month. You got to travel there. You have to pay your club dues as well as the IPMS stuff. So
yeah.
And again, no disrespect to your club. I'm sure we all go for the people, right?
Yeah.
I think that's really what it's about. I come on here because it's a great group of people. We get great questions in the chat. It's a social experience. That's what clubs are about.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting that social experience, what else are you getting from the IPMS? And I think it has moved on from 25 years ago when otherwise it was going to Fine Scale Modeller or AFV Modeller or whatever each month, going down to W.H. Smith's or Walmart or wherever you got your hobby magazines and your club. Those were the sources of information. Or you would buy a book. There wasn't the internet, so you couldn't go elsewhere. There wasn't the social media. So I think its relevance has declined because they haven't kept up with that kind of evolution, let's call it that, whereas still keeping, I think Sully made a really good term for it, actually. It's the elitism. There is a perspective of elitism in a lot of these places, which is really unfortunate, right?
Yeah.
And these are the ones that saying the hobby's dying.
Yeah.
They are. Yeah. They're the ones that say, "Oh, the hobby's dying." No, because you're still a fucking dinosaur, and not being.
It's not dying; it's just going elsewhere.
Yeah,
right?
it's just because they can't be bothered to keep up with it, and that's a them problem, basically. Because particularly COVID has helped the hobby massively because nobody could go anywhere. So.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's dying as such. I just think it may lack in areas, but I think it's still going strong.
Yeah.
I'd say I talk to a lot of people at work that model almost nearly every day. So it's bollocks that it's dying.
Yeah.
Well, Moss and I recorded a Beyond the Box that we then lost and have to re-record.
Yeah.
When he's got a stomach again. And we went over some figures there. Modelling is not dying. We have never had it as good as we have it now.
No, that's right. I couldn't believe how many model kits were being released year on year.
Yeah.
And there must be. I think there are companies losing a lot of money. I think the problem is that the actual models are being oversaturated in the market. And so when you've got the likes of, I wish Airfix would release this, there's a reason why they fucking haven't released it. You know what I mean? There's got to be that's the way it goes. But
just think about the Airfix 1/35th scale armor, right? Which is, until the last few, I think they started with a Cromwell, which is an original Airfix kit tooled by Academy. But the other ones were Academy kits, and everybody slated them for that. I bought, the 30% outlet sale that Airfix just had. I bought a bunch of them. I bought 3 old Academy kits from Airfix. They're fantastic. They're great kits.
Yeah.
And I think for us to be in a position where, those are seen as, oh, well, they're just Academy kits from 2012. Yeah, but they're really nice. It's just like, what's the problem?
There is no rhyme or reason. Like we were saying at the time, if it says if you get a kit and it says made in Korea, it's Academy. So whether it's Revel do it. Revel's been doing it fucking years. The BAE 146. As soon as I pulled it out of the box, it was Academy. And do you know what? What a great way. They've got the talent, they've got the tooling, they've got the manufacturer. And even though Academy have packed it and done it, and it's got the Airfix logo on it, Academy will never release it because it's Airfix tooling. The ambulance, for instance, it's done by Academy. They designed it. I think Airfix designed it all and said, this is what we want. And then Academy somehow tooled it, then packed it for Airfix. Airfix own that tooling. Unless Academy come up with some sort of financial package to re-release that kit in that way, then it's Airfix's all the way. And no matter, and to be fair, it makes financials, we want these companies to survive, don't we? It makes it's good business practice to share tooling. Tamiya has been sharing the Tamiya tooling for years, but don't tell the Tamiya lot that. You know what I mean? Didn't Tamiya release the 172 F35B that Tamiya done 2 years after Tamiya did? It's like, get a grip, and it's the same with but then again, like IPMS, they've got to be financially viable. But to get people to join, there's got to be something else. There's got to be something else to make you. And as I said, if it wasn't for Telford, I don't think I would be. A member. But then again, I can see why people aren't. If you can get in, Telford isn't the same as it was 10 years ago. There was a lot.
I'd say that, Moss. I was looking forward to going.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, it's on my bucket list. So
yeah, I'm going this year. But the problem is, I'm going up on the Friday, staying the night Friday, doing my bits during the day. Then I've got to drive all the way back down to here because I've got a disco for a friend's birthday. I've got to do the disco for them that night. So I won't be there for the Saturday and Sunday. But I could save money by not becoming a member this year and just going in and paying the Saturday entrance fee. And it isn't cheap to eat in there either. But there's a lot of stuff. You go there. Listen, you go there and you spend your money at IPMS at Telford. You spend a lot of money there. So, anyways, I was gonna, if I get my new tools to market, I may even have to buy a stand and sell my tools there, Because they came this week. My Sprue Cutters arrived this week, which I'm really pleased with.
I'll stock them in my shop, Moss.
Yeah, stock them in your shop. So there's these ones here, right, which are the cheap ones, and they come with a little yellow. They come with a little leather sheath as well, so you can keep them protected. These are the first ones. And these ones, the company, I'm not lying to you, the company who contacted me about branding, tooling in Mod 6510 models thing, these are the same as the expensive God Hand ones.
Yeah.
And they said they were willing to, and Display as well. They make the Sprue Cutters for Display. And this is their premium model here. This is their premium one. And they've come with me some pricing so I can actually get these made and have my logo there.
Oh, cool.
Again, comes with a little sheath to keep them protected.
It's important to use protection.
If I want to do it, I've got to buy 300. So 300 of these, and what can I sell them for? £30, £40? Because these are quality ones. These aren't shit. I've actually tried them. They are not shit. These are absolute stunners for Sprue Cutters. 300 times, was it $45 is a lot of outlay for these. But I was thinking of, because they've also they saw my video about my favorite craft knife, because this is my favorite craft knife, this one here, and they actually make the same one in their factory. This one here, which I can have all labeled up with Mod 651 models there and on the end. So I could do a starter set of one of these, yeah. And there was something else I was going to put in. Oh yeah, and a pair of tweezers.
Your paint stirrer sticks. That's what you need most.
And a pair of decent tweezers. And then and so as a 4-pack, all with my branding on it as a starter set. So I don't know. I'm really looking into it at the moment. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. So we shall see in the meantime. But I may have to get, if I do, I'm going to have to get a stored on and just have and start selling them off at Scale Model World as the best snippers you can ever buy.
As long as you don't enter the competition, you freeloader.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And what I could do is give them away as prizes, and so you can have one of these and have a woven patch, and you can win. But maybe that's what they need to do. Maybe if they want to make the competitions, is to make the prize money bigger, or make the prizes bigger. You know, it's yeah, it's interesting. You know, where the future lies with IPMS USA, I don't know, but I know that the UK one seems to be okay. IPMS UK's problem is that they don't advertise Telford publicly, but it's massively hard to make it a commercial success without membership subsidy. Now, are you in the UK, mate? Because the problem they're having is that they're very expensive to the store holders. And so the store holders are saying, we're not going to go Telford this year because we can't afford it. It's not worth our money. And then, so should it come out of the membership? You know?
And if you think, Ross, that's again another bit of a failure of them to understand how things have moved on.
Yeah.
Where do we both buy most of our models? I would think if we did a straw poll of everybody here, I would expect there would be an awful lot of people buying them online.
Yeah.
So
well, you know exactly where I get where my accountant last year slapped me on the wrist and said, "Do you know how much money you spent on the Airfix.com website?" I spent £600 last year.
I'm not surprised with a 3D printer.
Ouch.
How?
And no bear cat.
Yeah.
I don't know why I do this fucking show. I just get ripped.
It's right, Boz, you're not on your own there, because I get the fucking Purrs list off James.
Do you really?
Every time he's in the chat as well. Bastard.
But no, yeah, it's the future of scale modeling is online. You know, and I remember, you know, when we, you know, maybe IPMS needs to go online, more online. So if you want to, you know, but then forums are so 2010s anyway. When was the last time we went on an actual forum on a website? I run a forum. I run a footballers forum. And because of Facebook and their groups and everything else, it's just not many people use it anymore because there's something else to log into, if you see what I mean. You know, forums are dead. You know, I've often thought about opening up. You know, I've got my own Discord which people can use, but that's the glory about Discord is that you just click a button and you're into a different server. So, you know, we've got the Scale Model Club Discord, definitely if people want to join that one and chat. IPMS, you know, is about, but there's something mental health of actually meeting other people in your hobby, to meet up with them and talk to them. there's something about physical interaction that will always far surpass what you would get watching us on a Monday night. Do you agree? You know?
So there's a couple of comments in the chat, one of which was about where you buy models from, and somebody was 75% shop bought, 25% online.
Okay.
And I think the role of the local model shop is often underappreciated, because I think that's where a lot of people do get their social interaction from modeling in.
Yeah.
Is if they've got a friendly local modeling shop, they'll do that. But don't forget, again, a lot of us don't have one. One of the reasons I'm opening a model shop, surprise news everybody, I'm going to be opening a model shop, is because there isn't anything within an hour, really, of where I live. So there's a good opportunity. It's something I've always wanted to do. So, and it's actually a good time to do it. But I think if you have got that, and you do have some loyalty to that, then you're going to buy your stuff from there. But if you ask a lot of the retailers, and I know because I asked a lot of retailers at the show, and I've asked a lot of distributors, a lot of the business is online. The shop front is really a vehicle to get you into actual distribution, because a lot of model companies won't sell to you unless you have bricks and mortar. But the online is a major part of their business.
Yeah.
So if you think Telford are charging, £1,000 or more for a store, that's before you start making any profit, and you still got to buy your stock and everything. So that's all coming out of your baseline. You've got to make a lot to be able to have that. A lot of the traders at the Salisbury show this last weekend said that they were actually surprised about how busy it was, that it was really good, because they were expecting it to be dreadful. So not quite sure what you get from that. But they were expecting it to be declining, but actually it's not. So, which is a good thing.
I will be attending the North Devon Model Show at the beginning of next month. Or was it this month? I can't remember when it is now, but I've got it in my diary to go Sunday. North Devon Model Show, I'll be there just to support the locals, if you know what I mean. I always go to Yeovil. Pardon?
Where's that being held, Moss?
In Barnstable, I think. Barnstaple. What was it? A North Devon Hot House Society. No, I don't want that one. North Devon Model. North Devon Model Show. There's North Devon Model Society, North Devon Model Show. Where's that one there? Sunday, August the 13th. It will be, if I can I share that? StreamYard? If I go to present.
It's only 2.5 months.
But I'll be going to that one. I always go to the Yeovil Model Show, and I went to Bovington as well. Not Bovington, Bovington. I went to that one.
I think the next one around our neck of the woods is the Boscombe Down Aviation Collection Model Show, which is in the 23rd of July. But you also get access to the collection, so you get to sit in like cockpits of hunters and stuff. So
well, you'll be able to see some of my work as well there.
Where's that?
Right.
At Bovington. The two these aren't mine. The two large Lancasters that they've got there. It's got a large diorama with it. The vehicles I made for it. Used to display at Cosford.
Yeah. But it's we've got to look after, it's with model shows and stuff. It is good fun. I go to them and chat to so many people. I film the event as well. That's why I like doing, filming it and then putting out a video about it. So, here you go. Benedetto, he's very knowledgeable, this chap. I work in a model shop. Online is massively important, but trust me, at Telford, you can make your pitch back. This is the event people save up for. Well, then why was that article put out there 2 years ago saying that it was getting too expensive to have a pitch at Telford? That'll be interesting to find out. It was was a big article about it. You know,
it's smaller model shops.
Because it was like it took. So you had to take a lot of stock with you. It's not just that; it's the hotel for the night. It's getting the stock there, so transport there. Your food during the day, teas and coffees and stuff. So
I think it's a scale thing, isn't it? If you're Wonderland Models, it makes absolute sense because
yeah,
you know, Bernadette is absolutely right. People do save up to go to Telford. You know.
Yeah.
But if you're a smaller trader, are you going to be able to shift that stock, as you said? It's a big gamble.
It's a big gamble.
I think that's what I think that might be what the article was more towards, was the smaller stores.
Yeah.
Than the larger ones.
Yeah, because Wonderland and all the big companies are going to go there, aren't they?
Yeah, they're massive.
All right, here you go. It's interesting. I helped my mate at this model shop, and the biggest pain is IPMS members demanding a discount on what they buy. It's got him so down, he put a sign up, the price is on the label. And then again, problem for traders is the old show bargains are now an everyday bargain online. To be competitive at shows, you have to cut even more margin, which isn't great and makes the pitch fee hard. So, North Somerset Model Show at the Helicopter Museum, Western Supermare, that's coming up soon. Apparently, I don't know when that is. If you see Tim Hedman at Devon Moss, say hi to him. He's a mint guy. Oh, fair enough. That's a good day out, even without the model show on Celtic West. So is that the... Yeah. Bring your own sarnies and a flask. Cuts down some expense. But you don't, because you don't want to carry sandwich box and flask with you around a model show. Because you want that space is for more sprue cutters and more glue.
And a satchel. Don't forget the satchel.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah.
The brown leather satchel with the...
Yeah.
So, I made myself a cup of coffee to go to the IPMS Salisbury show on Saturday, and it was still sitting on the counter when I came back in the evening.
9th of July. Oh, that's a good one. 9th of July. The cost of venues has increased considerably since COVID. Yeah, is that right?
That, to be fair, doesn't make sense because a lot of people lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
You'd have thought it'd been the other way around, wouldn't you? You'd have thought they would have wanted to.
Yeah, but then people use that still as an excuse now. They've just gone off with, well, that's the price it is now.
Now, if you're organising, you would have a sliding scale of pitch fees for different size companies. Without traders, shows don't work well. RC shows have died due to lack of traders. I get that. That's what I was saying. I don't know how Telford, they should be asking for traders to come. Have at a cheap rate, because it's the same in the Magic community. With Magic, we used to go to Magic conventions to learn how to produce Magic and buy tricks there, but because it's all online, the Magic conventions don't actually charge the Magic shops money now. They say just come along, because if you're there, people will come and buy because they want to go to a Magic convention so that they can buy new Magic.
The Magic show gets a cut from the magician's assistants.
Do they?
Yeah. When they cut the legs off.
At least they disappeared, right?
Yeah, disappear.
That's fine.
Yeah. We can all do Magic. Oh, yeah, well, I'm off to bed. Stay classy. Nice, Dan. Nice seeing you, mate.
Right, Dan.
Be cool.
Be well, Dan.
Yeah. Yeah, wrap your sarnies in tin foil, sorted. Use a small flask, sorted.
Just get space food.
Yeah.
It doesn't take up much room, does it?
Yeah.
Suck it out of the bag.
Little history
saying there's the ready meal.
little history saying there's a lot of profit in model kits. No, there isn't.
Yeah, there is.
Is there really?
Why do you think I'm opening a shop?
No, there isn't a lot of profit in model kits. I doubt there is.
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised.
If it's done right.
You can make profit, can you?
Yeah.
The markup must be less than 30%. Listen, I talk to certain scale model shops who sell on eBay and Amazon, and they're struggling to make a profit on using the online platforms like that.
Yeah, well, that might be the online platforms they're using.
Yeah. Product offering cheap rates means money has to come from somewhere else, i.e. ticket revenue. Now you've got the entry fees, not popular. Now this is where IPMS increased public footfall. That could what? No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I think traders is the reason why people go to scale model shows, because believe it or not, it's like you know, if you've got paints, you know, and all the accessories and stuff, you want to see it in your hands before you buy, don't you? So the best place to do that is at a show. But if there's no traders there, that won't happen. It's like, you know, if Telford really want to make it, they need to get the likes of Revell there, Academy there, you know, all them lot to come over and show off everything. Because they do it in Germany. They're all what's it called? Doing it in Germany. They all go to the Germany model show, don't they? The trader show, whatever it's called. They all go to that one. Is it Model Bow? Is it called or something?
Something like that.
Over there. Yeah,
there's one in it's in Hungary, I think. It's
Hungary, is it Hungary? Yeah.
MOSON, I think it's called. I think that's in Budapest.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a big one.
Yeah.
If you're there in near Central Europe.
For scale model, you've got to have traders at any show. You know, if they sell on those platforms, then yes, they take a lot of your profit due to their fees. I get that. But yeah, Monson, Hungary, Mozon. They can do because it's cheaper as a whole, but there's nothing to do with IPMS. That's the effect on Brexit. I don't think Brexit is a bigger issue than people make out. You know, but then again, it's like at the time the fees for shipping, you know, a container went up to £11,000 a container, wasn't it, at one point, to ship from China and that. Now it's gone back down to about £1,000 now to ship a container from China. So
it's a good point about the shipping and online stuff and the tools, Moss. Because, I mean, what are the first three things I bought last show I went to? They were all tools.
Tools, yeah.
Because I wanted to go, and if I bought them direct, they would be from Europe, and the shipping fees were a lot. So I'd have to have bought quite a lot more than I wanted to actually make it worthwhile. Whereas at the show, I got to see them, and there wasn't that massive fee added on. So I think, I mean, you only have to think as a modeler, why do you go to a show?
Yeah.
I think it's either, you know, if you are going to compete, that might be one thing. But I think if we're honest, I mean, I look at the big pile of models here that I bought. And think, you know, I spent way too much money, which I'm sure we all, you know, spend more than we intended to when we go to these things, unless you actually, you know, restrict yourself to a particular budget. But it is to, you know, you want to pick up a bargain, or you want to pick up, you know, a particular kit. I don't think that many people go just to look at models that other people have made. I think that's, if we're all being honest, that's not really why we go. It's nice to see those things. It's a nice added piece. I love seeing, you know, what other people have done, especially stuff that I wouldn't normally do. It's not why I go. So the traders, I think, as you said, massively, massively important. If they weren't there, would I go to that show?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
It's funny you say that about the model, because I was only talking to Celtic West at the last what was it, this model at the model club before that, and I said it got to the point, because we went to Yeovil, we went to Bristol, we went to Bovington, and we went somewhere else. So we did like 5 model shows, and it got to the point that we were seeing the same models that we saw last year on the tables this year. You know, there's only so many Iraqi SIG that you can go looking at, you know, the same models, like, you know. But then when you were there, you looked at, my thing is tools. I love tools. I've got every single tool going. If there's a tool that I will never use, I will buy it. You know what I mean? I am terrible. You said the same, didn't you, John? You said the same. You buy tools that you never use, don't you?
Yep, I have tools. I'm just like, man.
Yeah.
That looks so cool. That's such a great tool. I don't know if I'll ever use it.
But
I want to have
just in case you need to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just point out, John.
I bought 2 razor saws.
Yeah.
Completely different. Why? I'm not quite sure, but they look great.
It's something that.
They are slightly different.
Here you go.
Just in case you need that difference,
That's right. Well, there might be an occasion I need a slightly hooked razor saw.
Yeah. But like this, I bought this about 2 years ago. It's collecting dust.
It's still in its bag.
Still in its bag. Never used it. Just never used it. Collecting dust. It's dreadful. I just want to go back, John. Nice to see you well again. Don't forget your dodgy chicken sandwich that you had. It wasn't chicken sandwich. It was I cut myself a lovely rice dish, and there was some chicken from the day before, from a barbecue I went to, and I took the chicken legs home, and then on the next day I just took the chicken, put it in, and within 2 hours. My stomach was saying, "This ain't very good."
Who would have thought, Moss, that 2-day-old reheated ex-barbecue chicken would have been bad for you?
It would have been fine. I've eaten worse. The thing is, though, is when I was sitting on the toilet pissing from my ass, I was like, the biggest regret was warming up that chicken. Anyway, yeah, I'm all well now. I was
Chicken strikes back.
Yeah, chicken strikes back. Yeah. I was very poorly, and like I said, it's an experience sitting on the toilet with a bucket between your legs, not knowing which way is going to come next.
Like sitting on a bird's nest, they must.
Yeah, sitting on a bird's nest. Yeah.
You drank from the fountain of phlegm.
Yeah, there was something or other, Also, if it's something that I see that I'm like, I've got to buy it, I'll buy it. For instance, somebody recommended me this Nichiban tape. This tape here.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, brilliant. Honestly, I just can't rate it. It just goes down so sweet. And then when you spray with it, it doesn't bleed. It's just an amazing tape.
What's it called?
Nichiban. Nichiban.
Okay.
Nichiban. And it's it comes in one size, as I can see. But the only place I can get is on eBay. It's about 16 quid for this, but it's about 20 quid in shipping. I had to buy it because I wanted to try it, and I'm glad I did. Now it's really, really good. So, yeah, salmonella is a lovely. It's the gift that keeps on giving. That salmonella, I tell you. But it's when you get to that bit where you've been sick so much, and all you get is bile, green bile. You're like, no more, but your body still wants to exit that as well. So, yeah, that's the stuff. Nichiban.
I see it.
It is
Amazon.
washi tape. It is washi tape, but for some reason it's better than the Tamiya tape. I'll tell you that much. It's very good. So maybe I could do that. Get one of these thingies and some one of them and make it as a starter set, and sell them. We live in dangerous mods. Chicken roulette. Yes, tell me about it. I was poorly. But yeah, going on, I'll buy anything Airfix. It's true. If it's, they don't do many tools. But I'll tell you what, though, Master Tools are very good from the Trumpeter range. They're very good. I've not had a bad tool off them. But yeah, it was a bit of a rough time last week. And I did buy the Airfix. Well, it's not Airfix, it's Humbrol 3D printer. And they gave me my money back and told me to keep it, and they were going to send me files to print, but they never did. I like to see if they bring out a newer version of it. John Parker, hey guys, what Airfix kits would you like to see in the Vintage Classics? I would like to see 3 kits: the Islander, the Cherokee Arrow, and the Skyvan. I thought the Skyvan was a Vintage Classic. Maybe not.
No, it's not.
No.
I think someone did a review of it on YouTube. I can't remember who, but
the Skyvan. There's a lot of kits I like to see in the Vintage Classic range, but what I'd like to see is them retool the fucking Concorde. I'd like to see them retool the Concorde.
And
I've already stated my case on that one, but according to Dale, when I said this to him, he said, "Mods, you're gonna love what we're gonna bring out next year. You're gonna love it. You're not gonna worry about the Concorde. You're gonna love it." And I was like, "Yeah, all right." We could do it.
Concorde or Bearcat?
Hey, as a dogfight double, bring them on.
I'm waiting for the Ferret to come out. They weren't able to say when it was going to come out, but when it comes out, it comes out. I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
That was something else I was going to say to you, gents. They've released the Fallen Gnat again this week. Now, is the one of the sheets, the decal sheets, the Hot Shot Fallen Gnat?
Yes,
it is, isn't it? I saw it and I thought that looks like the Hot Shot Fallen Gnat. So has that been released before, or is that a new one?
It's been released before.
Because I can't go over this. So the Hot Shots with Charlie Sheen, yeah? That's the same one. Right. Fantastic. So they've got a sense of humour then at Airfix, haven't they? Yeah. Taggers. So 2022 Bearcat, 2023 Concorde. What will be 2024 BMOZ's kit for Airfix to release? Don't know. I just think they need to retool. There's you speak to Celtic West, the Revell Concorde. Michael Kerr will tell you as well. The Revell Concorde is crap. So surely they must be. Surely there must be so. What has Concorde done not to get that much love? Because I'm sure that if they did the Concorde like they did with the Vulcan, like they've done with that Hellcat, if they released it, people would buy it and build it. And the reason they're not selling many Concordes now is because the tooling is that old. Probably everyone, including their nans, built that bloody Concorde. So they're not going to buy it again, are they, and build it again, surely, unless they want to get themselves a woven patch. And then I can send them a woven patch. It'd be, I don't know. Yeah, Darren Marsh, I've built 3 Hot Shots Nats for the diorama. So, yeah, that'll be interesting when I get that come through. I'm going to build that as a Hot Shots one. And have Charlie Sheen there with his juice. Wayne Welly. Oh, hang on, Morrowind. I've just bought my first Tamiya model kit tank, a T62A. Which one was that? T62A.
I think I built that. Quite a few, 15 years ago, and that was, if that's the one, it was a great kit. It went together. It went together really nice.
Flying Dutchman. Some more Revel bashing. Will you tell me what Revel's done in the last 3 or 4 years that's been good? You like Revel, don't you, Alex?
At least they had the Bearcat.
Well, I do. I think they had a sort of glory period around 2000 to 2015. They did some really nice bits. I did make a purchase at the weekend. It was a Revell kit. So a 1/32nd scale HE200.
That looks nice.
So, with a whole bunch of accessories with it, but it's huge. It's really, really nice. I think I just feel a bit disappointed with Revell because they're capable of doing really good stuff. I think they've undersold themselves since the investment company took them over.
I think that's what it is. I think that they have. They've let it's the trouble is Revell are like Airfix were in the 70s. They don't just do model kit, they're doing toys, they're doing RC, they're doing, 3D puzzles. Revell were doing all sorts of stuff. Instead of focusing on the scale models, which is what they are good at, but you say, oh, the bear cat. Well, it wasn't Revell. That's a monogram kit. That Revell,
Yeah, of course. Just joking.
But yeah, I know you're joking, but the 132 Hurricane, was it as good as people make it out to be? I'm still yet to buy it and have a good look, but I'm not convinced it was. It wasn't as good as some of the other Alfreds that are out there.
I bought a nice new kit, Moss.
What did you buy? That's not a bad
nice.
kit, to be fair. I've got one of them in the stash.
No, that's a nice kit. The Rebel one of those, the Halters.
Yeah.
Very detailed as well.
Mm.
The 48 scale one's good too.
Did you build that one?
I built
Alex?
the 72nd scale.
You're right.
Yeah, it is nice.
I see you can still get their flying saucer, the German flying saucer.
Handbow.
What's it called?
Glockenspiel or whatever, or the Glocken. You mean the UFO thing?
Yeah. I saw that in the shop the other day. So it's better, yeah, Moz. Yes, it is good. Way better than that horrible 132 F18 EF they did, yeah. That was dog shit, wasn't it?
I've had a couple of good Revell kits. I did their SDK 251, which was the Werfen. I forget what it was called, Werfen something. It's got the 6 rocket mortars, 3 on each side.
Yeah.
That was a splendid kit. It was really well detailed. It went together really well. But it was one of those Revell Germany, and I think that there's basically I won't buy a Revell kit unless it's Revell Germany. They just seem to be a little bit better. And I have that transporter, the SLT 50-3 Elephant, and so far it's it's not perfect, but it's very well detailed and it's relatively new, and it's the Revell Germany, so it's their car, a Revell car or something. That's that.
Revell make great kits for money. It's not so I know, I get that, yeah, but my point being is that what they released, in the last 5 years, they've been off the boil. For instance, the E-Type Jag they brought out was full of sink marks. They had to retool it apparently because it was that bad. Quality control. The instructions need work. I know they're colourful, but fuck me, man, they're not the easiest, especially when it's colour and 20% and 40% in that. They need, if they're going to do things like that, they need to put the FS number down for the colours. They're not the best. They're not, they do look nice, the instructions, but they can be hit and miss. But yeah, what was it? What they released that Jag. They released some German armor, didn't they, a couple of years ago? And I've not seen it in the shops.
Well, not being funny, if you go to say a German store, you see all Revell kits, and they're all these German, all the off the wall German, the what ifs, you see all the German kits by Revell.
Darren and Jeff got it's the Neville Werfer, the Stuka Zufus. That was it. That was a great kit.
Jeff 72 said they were on point. They were on point with the Razor Crest, but that wasn't that Bandai? Didn't Bandai tool that for them?
Bandai released one, and so did Revell.
Was it the same tooling, or did Bandai?
No, they were independent of each other. And
Were they?
Yeah, and the Bandai one was nowhere near as good as the Revell.
Was that right?
Yeah.
The Bandai one is tiny.
Yes, and I've got the Revell one in my locker.
Have you?
Yeah, that'll never get built. That's one kit I won't build.
The problem is it can be hit and miss. Yeah, Revell can be hit and miss. Can't wait to airbrush my T62 tank. Should be fun. Away Frog had a Bearcat, but Revell released it. Yeah, it was Monogram released it originally, I believe, and then it was Revell. No, it was.
You know, I almost bought an eBay lot the other day, Moss. Was, I can't remember what it was. It was two kits of something, an Avenger or something, and then 2 Bearcats. Both the monogram.
Yeah.
I thought I might, put them in an Airfix box for you.
Yeah, I've got a monogram one. I've got loads of Bearcats. It's like this one here by some weird company.
Oh, I've seen that kit somewhere.
Yeah.
Kinetic?
What company's that?
I think, and it's got hardly any detail to it. It's crap. I've got lots of Bearcats. I think when I built this one, I thought this was absolutely fantastic. So I've even bought the later version. They've got the this one here, got that one there, Bearcat, got that one there.
We've started him now. Sorry guys.
And that one there, Bearcat. Can't beat a Bearcat up.
And still wants more Bearcats.
I've got a big Bearcat to build as well. Hobby Boss one as well. I've got to build soon. So does Airfix. There's enough Sync Mark Plazo there. Yeah, but they have had to retool their tools because of the problems they're having. That's what I'm saying. I don't think short shot in the dark. Yeah, the short shot ones were all to do with the ones they got made in India cheap for Lidl, wasn't it? And Aldi. They did a job lot of them, didn't they? And they all came with short shot. But I just said I know I'm an Airfix fanboy, but every Airfix kit I've built in the last 6 or 7 years I've not had short shot. The only time was when me and Matt were building the Red Arrow, which was it was the following that. The Promise. There was the Promise, wasn't it? That all the seats had short shot and the wings had short shot, but they were bought from Aldi and Lidl. So, but
Sea Fury did.
Sea Fury had short shot.
Yeah, short shot on the tail predominantly.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because I did a video on my one and I gave it away to the guy who set up my Discord for me, and I didn't see any short shot on that one. Yeah. So, but. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down. Sometimes it does, but I'm just saying that when you have short shot and issues like that and sync marks and stuff, I know that Airfix are working hard with their suppliers, and also I know that Revell go to the same factories as Airfix do for their modelling. So yeah, it's all good. Anyway, come on, it's 10 to 10 already. We've done 2 hours. We've shot down the president of IPMS USA. For short shot or dodgy kit, I go for East European kits from the 1980s. Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah.
It happens. That's why you have plastic card and filler. Exactly.
Yeah.
Hobby Boss Bearcat.
70s kit for short shot. Old Frog kit. That's what you need.
Yeah. All the Revell 72 scale armor I've built were excellent. Yeah. But were they Matchbox originally, though?
No.
We need that.
Mine is, it's that 72nd scale, that transporter. So far, so good.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff was built from the 90s to 2010s. Like the Panzerhaubitz 2000, the T80 they did, all of that stuff, the Cromwell. Like I say, they went through a phase that they did. And it was around that time they started doing all of the Luftwaffe 46 stuff, like the Arado AR-555. the Flitzer, Blom & Voss BV194. So they went through that sort of glory phase, and they kind of haven't recaptured that in the last 10 or 15 years or so.
I think there's more to come from. There's going to be more to come from Revell in the future, I'm sure. I worry about Hella. I do worry about Hella because they just tend to be just releasing the old shit, innit? Like, you know. And I think Revell are bringing out a 132nd Buccaneer. Is that right? But it's going to be like £170 or something. Oh,
isn't Heller now sort of run by the Germans?
It is, yeah.
There's
But
like
it's still
a partnership or something. You probably know more than
that. Yeah, there's a video on it. I did a video on it.
Yeah, it's run by Christ, what's the name of the company?
Is it Model Go? Was it or something like that?
Monochrome? No, not Monochrome. It's the company that do the Yamato 200 scale Yamato. The ones that are behind Hella.
Because they're trying to rebrand. Yeah, I think I saw the video as well, and it was the German fellow that was presenting it, and he was talking about, hey, you know, we've partnered with Heller, and you know, we're trying to rejuvenate or accelerate this brand, and they've taken over or whatever. So yeah,
I've got to agree with Scale Model Ninja there.
Glow 2B, that's it.
Glow 2B, yeah.
I've got to agree with that.
But then they do the flappy box. Hella do bring kits out in a flappy box.
Yeah.
And that just makes it for me.
Never done a Heller kit. Yeah.
Haven't you?
No.
I'll send you one over.
They're just not over here. In the States.
To be fair.
Yeah.
I've got the Ferguson T20 and I've got a Citroen 15 CV and Hella kits. That's all I've got Hella at the moment.
I'll tell you what, there are a lot of Hella 1/16 scale armor, which are all trumpeter kits at the show.
Really?
Yeah. Panzer 3s and Stuck 3s, or Stuck 4s, I can't remember.
Yeah.
But all they're all trumpeter kits.
They're all having a hella time. Anyway, thank you, Taggers, for the super chat. Much appreciated for your super chat, my friend.
Very nice.
And remember, folks, if you all want to build a Concorde, the challenge starts next week when I get the badges in. And so if you build a Concorde, we'll send you out a woven patch. Also goes with I've still got a few more of these. I've ordered another 20 of these. So if you want to build an EE Lightning or BAC Lightning, let me know. I'll send you a patch as well. I have got a load of Tamiya ones. I sent you one. Did you spray that one up? Oh, look how good that looks.
Let's see it.
Let's see it. I'm going to get you big, mate.
Let's see it, David.
Oh, wow. That one. Look, that's pretty good, isn't it? Look at the recessed panel lines for a 1960s kit.
Awesome, isn't it?
Not bad.
Do you know what? I got a couple of 1/100 scale Tamiya kits because you showed that Lightning last time. Got what is it? The 262 and 163 pack.
163.
The 163 is tiny.
Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, they're nice kits.
Anything you want to say in the chat? Anyone? Anything you want to say? Nothing. Bearcat. We're going to say that. Glow 2B for Yamato. Glow 2B for Yamato. So is it trumpeter, that one, is it? Or
yes, they call it the trumpeter one.
Glow 2B.
The Hella Stug 3 is about €77 on some online shops. Fuck it out, is it? Yeah.
I'm a proud owner.
Hey.
Proud owner of the badge. So if you're waiting for one, just send me another email if you're waiting for a badge, and then I'll put you on the back list. Well, I run out actually, so you're there. Matchbox for 76 scale, which is the true scale, isn't it? Was it 72 that's true scale?
48.
Do they do a Bismarck?
Wayne is Mr. Bismarck.
Is he?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's got some.
He is Mr. Bismarck. Yeah. Wayne.
Doesn't matter what brand Concord to make, any brand, any scale, as long as you have to add a bit of paint to it and a couple of decals, anything will do. How was the decals go on that one then, Dave?
They were old.
Were they old, were they?
Yeah, they were old.
Fair enough. Anyway, folks, that's it. Another night, another Monday done. Thank you all in the chat here for joining me to have a little moan and a little bit of a chat about freeloading.
Thank you, Moss.
No worries. It's been a pleasure. And hopefully we'll be back again next week. What should we talk about next week? We could talk about Revell. The golden age of Revell.
The golden age of Revell, where they used to build the kits to the size of the box.
It's always disappointing. You're thinking, oh, that's going to be a big kit, and it's about like a quarter of the size of the actual box.
Yeah. Mind you, the Airfix used to do the same as well, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody was saying the other day they built a tank, and it was like £80 for this tank, 20 sprues in it, and then when he finished it, there was about 16 sprues left.
Wow.
Says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of sprue you don't use, isn't it? Anyway, folks, it's all next week. Catch you all. Have a good week, everyone. Ta-da now.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.
Bye.